So we have a great chapter here, but we're moving away from the Endeavor and the All for One stuff that we were previously with, but we are moving over to Bakugo and the rest of the team that's taking on Shigaraki at UA. The chapter begins with Shigaraki surfing on millions of fingers and hands that are coming out of him. He asks if the heroes will just keep running away, and we see Sun Eater getting hit hard by one of the hands. Nejiri shouts his name, but then immediately releases a wave to block the attack coming her way. Best Jeanist is also surfing on one of the wires and says that everyone needs to keep moving because if they stop for even 1 second, they will be swallowed. They need to find Shigaraki's body as fast as possible. So it's been a while since we've been with this team here. I think the last time this was like predominantly in a chapter was like 347. And for the most part, it's the team of Edgeshot, Best Jeanist, Bakugo, Nejiri, Mirko, and Amajiki with assistance from Monoma and Aizawa, as well as other heroes that will be mentioned in these spoilers, all taking on Shigaraki, who has become like this amalgamation of hands. Also, Monoma is copying Aizawa's quirk at this point and focusing on Shigaraki, so he doesn't have access to any of his quirks. Hey, also guys, if you like my Hero content, please subscribe if you haven't already. It's fine if you don't want to, but if you just need a reminder, here you go. Thanks. Edgeshot uses one of his ninpos to bypass a huge mass of fingers and destroy it. He says he still doesn't believe that this is all just a function of Shigaraki's body without the influence of any quirk. This is when Tomura / All for One begins a monologue. The pronoun used is Boku, which implies that All for One is in control. He says that as the All for One quirk stabilizes in Tomura's body, the other multiple quirks contained within it also begin to adapt to the new environment, causing the body to take on a more suitable form. So this sequence, almost 1 for 1, happens in chapter 347 as well, like Edgeshot questioning what's going on here with Shigaraki, and then Shigaraki explaining it, but I guess this time it's All for One instead. And it's understandable. I guess Horikoshi is just trying to refresh the audience on the logistics of this. Like I said, it's been, over 10 chapters, I guess, at this point since we've been here. And Yujiko, being the creator of the quirk singularity theory, knew to have like this amount of power with all of these quirks within one vessel, a normal, regular human body that you're born with isn't going to be suitable. And he told this to All for One. So they devised this plan to make the new vessel. And long story short, after this long game, they eventually modified Shigaraki into being the proper vessel to house all of these quirks. And I guess this is the end result. Whatever they do to his body, making it suitable, it just Tetsuo's out and becomes like this big amorphous mass of fingers in order to accommodate for all of this power. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. So a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. It creates an encrypted tunnel for your data, protects your online identity by hiding your IP address, and allows you to use public Wi-Fi hotspots safely. Guys, seriously, this is something that we don't take too seriously, and it's using public Wi-Fi. Any day now, some random hacker could be on the same public Wi-Fi as you and steal all of your information, and your life is pretty much screwed. That's why whenever I go to a place that I know where I'm going to have to use public Wi-Fi, such as the airport or going on an airplane, I absolutely use NordVPN because it protects me. But not only that, there's other benefits to NordVPN as well, such as getting a game that isn't available in your country. You can simply just change your virtual location and buy it. Same thing with TV, movies, or other content. Looking for that special anime that's only in Japan? Well, just change your location to Japan. So guys, if you're interested in getting the amazingly strong NordVPN that I promise you will be nothing but a benefit to your life, check out the link in the description and make sure you use code Zhoniin. And it's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks, guys. This body and this power then become things over which All for One has complete control. He then says that having control over something is ideal, that the rest of the world is falling apart because the elements that make it up are losing its established shape and becoming more confusing as time goes on. Differences that are too big lead to a lack of understanding, and this lack of understanding results in fear and rejection. As he says this, it zooms in on Bakugo's face. Therefore, the solution is to let All for One dominate everything. In the world he will create, all people will be equally exploited. So in a way, it's the closest thing to the peaceful world the heroes want. So I guess this goes back to what Aoyama was talking about at the beginning of this arc. When he was talking to Izuku, he revealed what All for One's master plan is, which was essentially becoming this all-reliant global dictator where everyone has to be subservient to him and reliant on his quirks to basically survive. And he said something along the lines of what Aoyama's saying wasn't like 100% true, but I guess most of it was true considering what's being said here. Bakugo is furious that he doesn't know if it's All for One or Shigaraki speaking, but regardless of who it is, he can't stand to hear those two talk since Kamino. All this time running was enough to prepare the equipment that the support course made for him. Heavy mobile compact artillery strafing panzer. As the name suggests, several guns come out of Bakugo's back and he starts shooting wildly, saying that he and the other heroes will obliterate his body. So yeah, this is pretty cool. This is like the evolution of Bakugo's equipment, and aside from it just having some serious functionality, it's pretty aesthetic as well, and the application of it is very well done by Horikoshi. I mean, I'm like a big Bakugo fan, so something like this is pretty satisfying to me, and it's much needed, to be honest. You know, since we are coming to the end here, you know, we've been kind of lacking with the Bakugo stuff, so I'm glad that this is happening. Now, from what I can see, they're pretty powerful, and I'm not exactly sure if they're as strong as like one of his like full power gauntlet blasts, but it's probably comparable, meaning that each one of these cannons on his back is like filled with his sweat, essentially, because that's like the ammunition for them. Bakugo starts thinking about everyone who's giving it their all at this point. Monoma and Aizawa are using erasure to seal out Shigaraki's quirks. Kaminari and the others are keeping the arena running, and Yaoyorozu and company are making sure the arena floor is always there. So yeah, these were the other heroes playing their part in this big plan here. He then remembers the words of All for One. Lack of understanding result in fear and rejection. As he thinks back to the time Midoriya saved him from the sludge villain, he says that he accepted the differences, his own ignorance, and his fear long ago. All of this was necessary for him to take the next step, which was only possible because he knows a bunch of guys that are always moving forward, no matter how difficult or how long it takes. He calls Tomura / All for One a sack of fingers and says that all this talk is unnecessary. Best Jeanist is very impressed and calls him by his hero name. The chapter closes with Bakugo getting close to Shigaraki and starting to use his newest move, Howitzer Impact Cluster. So this is great as well. This is like the next level, or just the evolution of Bakugo's, I guess, ultimate attack in the Howitzer Impact, which is my personal favorite move in the series. Like outside of, you know, the United States of Smash, this is like the coolest move in my opinion, and it's just too bad that he doesn't really ever do it that much. I think in the manga's continuity, he only really performed it against Shoto at the sports festival, but outside of that, he did it in the first movie. I'm not really sure if he does it again in the series, but he's doing it here and it looks awesome. However, I wasn't able to see if it's making impact or if just the very last panel is him about to perform the move, and then we'll see what happens in the next chapter. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments, and if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.